different roles that 6 different managerial positions that encompass the whole issue of artists having managers. One is the management, the music manager. The next one is the business manager. The other one is the road manager. The other one is the tour manager. You have the production manager, and you have the technical manager. The one we discussed the first three at length. I'm sorry, Fitzroy is not here today, because Fitzroy himself, being a road manager for Black Uhuru, could stress a little bit more on in detail what that role is. But when you take, for example, the role of the music manager, the music manager or managers are individuals in counseling and advising artists, or songwriters, producers, engineers, instrumentalists, musicians, etc., on all matters matters related to their musical careers. Traditionally, personal managers primarily focused on shopping for record and or publishing deals for their clients, and then helping to navigate their clients through the deals and beyond. Today, the role of the personal manager has evolved into a much more hands-on approach regarding helping their clients, reaching fans directly, and assisting clients in running their own recording, publishing, merchandising, and performing / touring operations. Even though traditionally record and publishing deals may still make some sense, the deals that most managers pursue for their clients are in the areas of sponsorship, branding, merchandising, and or licensing. The personal manager's job, therefore, is to, while helping clients run their own companies, help figure out which deals, if any, complement the client's independent operations and fit into their long-term career plans. So that is the role of the music manager. So in essence, the music manager is someone who is pretty much a counselor for that artist in terms of directing that artist in the direction that they should take, while the artists themselves are still handling most of their personal issues, such as publishing and all that stuff, unless they want to sign that right over to the manager, which, as we have seen, in the past, where a lot of artists have pretty much signed everything over to their manager. You talk to an artist and you say, okay, do you have a website? And they go, well, boy, I'm a manager, I'll take care of that. That is something that an artist, and again, I can't stress enough that I put a lot, 90% of the responsibilities, whether you have a manager or not, back on the shoulders of the artist. This is why this show is so important, because artists need to educate themselves not only on the business, but the people you have around you that are working with you or working for you. And the mistake a lot of artists make is that they will use the term, well, my manager is working with me. No, your manager work for you. Right? So this role is the role of the music manager, and that person pretty much play the role of a counselor or an advisor in advising and directing the artist in the right direction. I don't know if anybody else on the panel want to elaborate on that.
Let's come to the scientist.
Roddy's right. You have different roles of management, and he pretty much outlined all the different roles that managers might do, but or should do. But a lot of artists who wants to leave everything up to the manager to do, and is at a disadvantage, because sometimes you find that just because the artist doesn't want to register the songs for himself, doesn't want to do a lot of things for himself, you find in cases managers registering titles to themselves and assigning copyright to themselves. And we had an issue down here in California why they even outlaw certain practices of managers. Managers can't be what you call it power of attorney and so forth.
What about for instance, and I'll give you a scenario.
Huh?
I'll give you a scenario, right, whereby you as a manager is supposed to manage your artists, yeah. So you're trying to do the best you can, but if the artist is going round the corner, right, to try and break some deals and then get stuck and then wants you to try and bail them out, how do you deal with that?
Well, it sounds like a personal experience.
Sorry, 1 second. Let me just stop you. Dobby Doo. Is Dobby Doo there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just trying to get Junior on.
Okay, please tell Junior that we will make a link with him, yeah?
Okay.
Thank you. Right,
No
go ahead, scientist. Thanks.
Yeah, the artist have to know for himself.
Hmm.
If the artist doesn't know for himself, the artist leave himself open to a whole bunch of things. In certain states like California, going back to your direct question was saying that you have a deal with the artist and you're supposed to manage the artist.
Yeah.
And the artist go to the side and making a deal behind your back. And then the whole thing unravel. And then the artist is coming to look for the manager now to try to clean up the mess that he created. One of the things that should be established that if you're going to manage an artist is to say that you cannot do this. You can't make any deal behind my back. The artist have the ultimate last word to say, well, then I want to do this.
Okay.
Right, but must run it by management first, and it's not good when artist goes behind manager's back and make deals. So how to address a deal that goes bad? Well, it depends on who the artist is, and if it depends on the artist decide, well, then I'm not going to do this again because I see it backfire. If it's something to protect the integrity of your management company, and it's something that could clean up, I would say go ahead and clean it up. But if it's something that will interfere with the integrity of the management company and bring you into a pickle, I would say drop the artist.
All too often, I see that happening where the artist goes around the corner, expects you to clean up the mess, and it makes mockery of you as a manager, because it doesn't really, the image of a manager becomes somehow tarnished. That's how I look at it. Also, the integrity of the artist also becomes tarnished.
I mean, yes, but it depends. If it's a professional manager, right, and not just a cousin or a girlfriend or a friend that hang out with him on the corner, like what Niney was describing, because you find with a lot of these artists, these are the type of management that they have, and the person who acquired the management role doesn't really understand anything about the music business. The only thing you understand, well, yes, my artist want $10,000, how much you're sending. And this is where Roddy was talking about the different role of manager, because an overall manager, right, understands about publishing, understands about who gets what, and so forth, so forth, so forth. A business manager now is the one who will handle like the financing for the artist, tell the artist what stock, what kind of commodity he should invest in, and so that's the one who's always dealing, or most likely dealing with accounting, which is one level. And next management, then you have the one that will be in charge of like merchandise, who is monetizing all the artists, like T-shirt, postcards, so forth, so forth, so forth. So you have all these managers, but you have a general manager or a council that sits on top of all those managers. to make sure nobody's not going out with any hanky-panky. But ultimately, the artist has to be the one that know. And I find the same thing with lawyers. If you go in front of a lawyer and you don't know what the law is, the lawyer could sell your soul down the river because you are ignorant of the law. And a lot of lawyers, they don't want to deal with you either when they know that you know the law, because they just can't make up in the garbage and tell you.
Yeah.
So ultimately, the artist will be a better person or a better business person if he knows for himself what needs to be done.
Right.
But if we, sorry, G, if we should back up for a second and understand who or what is a manager. Once the title, you attach the title manager to yourself, the second word that comes to my mind is professional. So your manager has to be a professional person. As scientists say, not your auntie, not your uncle. However, if your auntie and your uncle is a professional person, then by all means use them, keep it in the family. But if we back up to, I'd love to back up to your scenario earlier, General, that you said, you know, an artist, and it goes on, you know, too often, where an artist will have a manager, but yet still the artist is going around the corner and making deals outside of his or her manager's knowledge.
Well, what sort of credentials do we need to see in terms of who is a credible manager? What sort of credentials would you like to see?
But can I say something?
Track record. That person has to have. That person. Sorry, dudes. That person has to have a track record.
Well. Let me see if I can break it down a little bit. A track record. A manager who would be a good manager, somebody who probably have some kind of a business degree, somebody who understands business structure, somebody who is who can smoothen out things. Because I find even myself when I go, like I have a couple of shows to doing, one of the guys that I carried me, Brian Wallace, he's a teacher. And because I don't want to deal with a lot of things, and he's good at talking to people, I probably lose my cool a little bit easier. I have Brian go to smooth it out and polish it out, and then I just come do my thing. So the manager has to be a person, a good mediator, that if there is something going on, the manager will be able to talk to the person rationally and don't make things escalate. That would be the ideal first manager. The buffer between artists and outside.
Can I say something about the track record though? Because like, okay, it's a case more of, known in public now with the NWA and how their manager had bands from the 60s and 70s, like famous kind of like rock bands. So he had a track record as a good manager, but he ripped these guys off. But at the other hand, he got them in places he couldn't go and stood up for him in some ways. But the main thing is, this guy had a track record and he still ripped him off. You know, like there's still court cases open with Ice Cube and all the different rappers.
Because the reason why the artists get ripped off, right? When they were signing a contract with this management company, more likely the artist was ignorant.
And he used it to his advantage, and he also, like I said, he helped out in ways, but he also...
What country was this, or what state?
Oh, this is from California, Compton, NWA, you know, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre.
What year that was?
Late 80s, mid 80s to early 90s, and then like through mid 90s.
Well, I know because a series of things like that, California outlaw managers from having like state of power attorney, they can't be the booking agency and the manager, and so forth. I know that California outlaw. I'd have to go revise myself on it.
Well, I also think that's a good example because that's in the public eye now. It's like that movie, they just did the movie, and some of it's true or not. You got to go and do your research, but if you go do your research, there's still court cases open from that band. Well,
what I think he was talking about, a history. Right, you find that Peter becomes a singer, becomes a dancehall celebrity, start getting a bunch of inquiries, and then he would say to his girlfriend, "Hey, I want you to manage me." What track record your girlfriend have?
No, but the point I was trying to make is A manager, if you as an artist, you're looking for a manager, it's no different from if you decide you're going to get a contractor to come and work on your house.
Yeah, you want to
You don't just go look through the yellow pages and say, okay, I like this one because I'm cheaper. A manager is somebody who is supposed to be a professional person. Now, to General's point, if you are a manager out there and you have an artist that keeps going behind your back and making deals, drop that artist. Why? Because if they do it one time, they're going to do it two times.
I allow them to get away with it.
Now, while they're doing that, while that artist is doing that, that artist is also bringing down your reputation as a manager or a management company. So when you have an artist, or if you have an artist like that, also, the first time you and that artist get together, you as a manager are supposed to have certain things and guidelines outlined to this artist that they're going to sign to. And if these artists put their initials on there, this is now a legal document between you and this artist.
They would have breached a contract, and you'd have a clause that said that if they breach a contract, you can drop them.
That's right. So if you drop that artist, that artist can come back and say, well, I'm going to take you, Mrs. Manager or Mr. Manager, to court because the evidence is already there. It is a bad game. It's a really bad game, and we have seen it happen way too often. Now,
but the same thing with booking agencies. They do it with booking agencies. They would have a booking agency booking shows with them, and then themselves making different deals with other promoters.
You've just opened another can of worms, because there is that confusion with many who cannot distinguish the work of a manager from a booking agent.
A booking agent is not a manager, and a manager is not a booking agent.
And in California,
two separate people.
In California, managers is outlawed to be booking agencies.
And a lot of places are this right here in Canada too. Also, if you're a booking agent, you can be a manager. You can manage an artist that you're booking shows for. It's a conflict of interest.
So
they have that law in Canada now.
Yes, they're instilling that law here now. I think it's been here for a while.
Roddy, give us the role of a booking agent, if you wouldn't mind, please.
A booking agent is simply what we call here in Canada a headhunter. What that person does, that person they don't care if you're going to perform in the back of a nightclub, as long as they get you the gig.
As long as you agree, you as an artist, when you join with a booking agent, you can say, don't go below this standard. Or when you're booking hotels, don't book me a Motel 6. Yeah.
Whereas the role of a manager is someone who scout what they're looking for first. They look for the best. The manager always have your best interest at heart.
And the manager also oversees the booking agency if the booking agent is operating within the proper guidelines. Booking agency, artists, the other thing is artist is not supposed to ever get the advance. The advance from a show is supposed to go into an escrow account.
Okay.
So the difference between the two, a manager manage, a booking agent book. That's the difference. If any artist out there right now, you have a manager who is playing the role of your booking agent and your manager at the same time, you're going to have problems.
Let me come to Chris. Chris.
Yes, sir.
What are some of the tribulations you've had as a manager?
Well, we don't. No. We're different, aren't we? Because with Kofi, we're partners in the business.
Right.
I take over some of those roles that you've just spoken about as an intermediary, to allow her just to get on with performing. But we use booking agents, and we do operate as managing agents for other people. So we do that role of music manager with a lot of emerging artists to get them on the right foot. Okay. But they remain independent. So we're there for advice and counselling and checking any documentation that they might have to make sure they don't get themselves in any wormholes, you know.
Right.
But I'm fully understanding what you're talking about, but it's very different for someone with Kofi and myself. She's a very experienced person in the industry herself. So we bat off each other. You know,
have you ever had a situation similar to what we described, where you're supposed to be overseeing or managing an artist, and the artist go and do something to the contrary?
Yeah.
How you dealt with that situation?
Release them.
There you go. There you go. Because if they do it one time, they'll do it again.
Do you have any kind of a clause in your contract that says, or when you're going to sign a contract with the artist, do you have anything outlining that they can't make these operations behind your back?
Perfect.
Yeah, we've got a very simple agreement if we bring it into, but we've stepped back from doing that recently.
Because why?
Well, to be quite frank, I mean, we're very, very small, and I prefer to put my efforts go with Kofi as our main artist.
Okay, so that means for the other managers that have 100 artists,
I would never attempt personally. If you are a management company with loads of managers,
right?
Then that I mean, people come to me and say, "Oh, we'd love you to manage it," and I just say, "No, one person is enough." And the dealings that we have with other people, where we're acting as an agent, managing agent, and advising them, that takes time too, you know. And we don't want to spread too thinly. It just doesn't work.
The point that I was getting at is, anytime an artist going to a manager, one thing that you could ask the manager how much artists you have managing. If he says, "Oh, well, I have Yellow Man and I have this one and you have 20," and then your next question is, "How much manager you have?" And so, "Oh, it's me one managing, running everything." Then that's a big red, white, and blue flag, right? You're running.
I would agree with you, Sinus.
Which is what I said earlier. I mentioned the word track record. You know,
Are you there, Roddy?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so you kind of started and stopped.
I said
to make sure.
I thought I was cut off.
Sure.
Yeah, do your
Hold on, I think there's something going on here. I'm not too sure what it is. Yeah, Roddy, you were saying. Say that again.
Yeah, what I'm simply saying to especially the young artists, them coming up, you know, do your homework, you know, because if, again, as I say, you're going to hire a contractor to work on your house, you're not going to just pick someone out that is walking down the street. You know, it's a lot of money involved. Your career is involved. Your future is involved. And when it comes on to somebody managing something, they have to have a certain amount of experience. And that's my personal, you know, I manage myself on the North Coast doing cabaret shows for 10 years. You know, I go into the office, I sit down with the general manager, the entertainment manager, the resident manager, and because of my sense of the business and knowing the business to a certain extent and knowing what I was worth, because that's the other thing too. There's a lot of managers out there that I see today that are undervaluing their artists because they want to get them on a gig. Right? So as far as the managers are, why I say, you know, they have to be professional. You know, for 10 years, I'd walk into some of the biggest hotels on the North Coast and I will sell myself, you know, because I was managing myself at the time. And I didn't oversell myself, but I certainly didn't undersell myself. You know, so that's also a huge role that managers play. Then we come to the business manager. So this is number 2 out of number 6. The business manager, usually an accountant by trade. Let me read that again. The business manager, usually an accountant by trade, manages the income and expenses of the client. Business managers usually take care of making payments to musicians, background singers, roadies, tour managers, etc. on behalf of the artist. They also assist clients in the areas of assets and investments, savings, tax, local, state, federal, and international, etc. Many artists are not well versed in the intricacy of, in particular, the tax obligations that relate to their performance, licensing, sponsorship, recordings, and merchandise income, equipment purchases and sales, business expenses, etc. Business managers help their clients organize their money. Business managers help their clients organize their money.
Yeah.
Not the music manager, not your booking agent, not your cousin. Your business manager helps you to organize your money affairs while also assisting with investments, savings, retirement funds. So anybody, Chris, if you want to elaborate on that part.
No, I agree with what you're saying there, Rudy, because, I mean, obviously what we've got to put in mind when we're talking about all of this is about this, how successful and how big the artist is. I mean, for any artist that's emerging at this moment in time to think that they need 6 managers that they're going to have to pay, do you know what I mean? This is not the way. I mean, what we've got to do at some point at the end of this session is to bring it back down to scale. I mean, from what you've just said there, I am obviously qualified from a business perspective, and I have qualified in doing tax returns and VAT returns, so I handle the finance side of things as well.
Well, it's no different, Chris, that if you had a supermarket or a liquor store or you was running real estate or whatever business and you're looking for a manager, you're not going to just go pick up your aunt or somebody off the street. They're going to have to show that they have a track record of managing other stores and what they have done before you allow them to manage your store.
Absolutely. Can I just point there where we're talking about finance? I mean, like all of us, we've all been approached by people that say, oh, we want you to manage us. But what they're actually saying to you is, have you got lots of money that you're willing to invest in me?
Yes.
So that
have you got loads of money you're willing to invest in me?
Yep.
That's the confusion at some point with emerging artists about a manager role. They're looking for a bankroller to sponsor them, not manage them.
Well, to the contrary of that, whenever a manager approaches an artist, it could be, hey, dude, I see you have a lot of potential. I wonder how educated you are, because if you're a dummy, I'll just sink my fangs in you and drain every bit of money from you.
Absolutely, that's the complete opposite.
I tried not to laugh.
Hey, dude, I see you have great potential.
Yeah.
I have a lot of connections, and I see you're a talented artist, and I can open a lot of doors for you. Because here is my track record. I did this with this artist, and I take connection. I take people saying good things about you and put you in front of the right crowd. So if you agree to let me be the person up front, the buffer between you and the crowd, and you agree not to conduct any business behind my back, you have the final say. Right, and if you want to take $1 versus $10,000, and if you agree, then I can be a manager.
That's right.
I tell you what, there's been so many instances where, and we were talking about, the backdoor kind of situation, but there's so much to be taken into consideration, whereby if you are going to choose to have a manager, you have to have trust in the person whom you're going to say is going to manage you, as an artist. But also, the manager has got to be able to trust the artist, because there's no way on earth I'm going to try and secure a deal, and then you're going to say to me, you want me to give you like 2,000 or 2,500 up front before you do the show, and then on arrival of the show you want the other 250 or whatever it is. Now I don't feel comfortable doing that, especially if there's no trust and I'm trying to work out who this artist really is. So how do you deal with those situations?
First of all, before them to interject here, first of all, the money is not supposed to go to the artist for these reasons.
Educate.
It's not supposed to go to the manager either.
Okay, educator.
Yeah, it's supposed to go into an escrow account. So if zero happens, if the artist doesn't turn up for whatever reason, the promoter money is safe. The manager is not supposed to be collecting booking fees.
So you're saying
because of situations where the manager collected all his booking fees, the artist is a dummy. The artist doesn't know what's going on, and then the manager disappear with the booking fees.
Which has happened many times.
And vice versa.
So it's supposed to go into an escrow.
Escrow.
Now, explain, scientist, could you explain for our listeners and some of the young artists what that means? What is an escrow account?
Escrow is the same thing like used in real estate. A third party that have a set of instruction that's from the person that is putting up the money. Right, that says I'm going to keep this money here into a trust, right, into this account, and the money is only going to be released when the artist gets on stage and perform his duty.
Right.
Who sets up this account?
Well, the booking agency, most booking agency has escrow accounts.
Oh, okay.
And how do you spell that? Spell that for me.
Escrow, Lady G. ESCRO.
ROW.
Yeah, ESCRO, forget the W. It's CRO, escrow account.
Escrow account. Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Yeah. Lady G, it's the same principle as real estate. Explain to them how that works. When somebody buying a house, the money have to go to our escrow account, and explain how that process works, because it's a similar process.
Well, in real estate, when a deposit you go to buy a house, you make your offer, you hand over the deposit check to the realtor, maybe 1,000, 5,000, whatever the case may be. You make that check out to the company that the realtor works for. That check goes into what is called an escrow account at the office. It is monies that is held in trust by that office, that is closely monitored by whatever state or jurisdiction that you're in, the governing real estate commission or whoever it is. In Florida, it's called FREC, Florida Real Estate Commission. And that money is basically held until it's needed to complete the transaction. So in other words, on the date of closing, say, those monies are then forwarded or transmitted to the title company who handles the cutting of the checks for the transaction.
Yes.
So it's third party. It's not the broker's money. It's not the real estate company's money, and they're not allowed to touch it. So escrow money is kind of like, I don't know, you could call it neutral. That's not the right word.
It is a mutual person that both person make an agreement that says, after I do the show, John released the money to me. If I don't do the show, John released back to the money to the person who put up the money. And as what she said, it's monitored by state law that anybody has an escrow agree to these things. That if John don't perform the show, then send back the money to the promoter. The manager is never supposed to touch the money. And if I was a management company, why I want to touch the money? I don't want the responsibility of the money.
It's illegal
Precisely.
to touch that money.
Yeah, it's illegal to touch that money. So it protecting the artist's reputation. It's protecting the person who is putting up the money, And is a thing that the artist shouldn't even want to do. You know, say you have a saving plan with the money in there, and the only time you get the money out of the saving plan is when you turn 21. That's good for the artist too.
So let me come to another point. How do you ascertain how much a manager should get?
It's I think it's 15 to 20%. And it's all negotiable, because if you have a manager that say, hey man, I can get you a $50 million check, and I have the contacts to get you a $50 million check, normally it's 15%. But if he's that good of a manager and he can keep getting you $15 million checks, why you wouldn't want to give him 20 or 30%? But like in most states like California, elsewhere, is I think the cutoff is at 20%.
Okay.
So that is basically the role of the business manager. Now, the other thing too is that artists can understand that all 6 of these managerial positions, if you have one manager that understands all of this, and you can only afford to have that one manager who understands all of this, you're already a foot through the door, because you're dealing with somebody.
But the artists them who go more likely that need 6 managers is when you become like a Beyonce or a Lady Gaga.
Precisely. Yeah.
Which is why I brought up the point a while ago. So if the artists understand the role of all these 6 managers, and you have somebody who wants to manage you or presently is managing you, who understand the role, all 6 of these roles, then if that's the one manager you can afford, then that's the one manager you can afford. You know, but you're dealing with somebody who understand the role.
But even though I understand the role of all of that, and then one manager might understand all the role of that as the general manager, and then you deal with an artist like Lady Gaga, I wouldn't want to be the manager who's doing all of that, because you see the manager now spread himself thin.
No. When you're talking about the caliber, as Chris mentioned earlier, in terms of limits. When you're talking about, Beyonce and Lady Gaga, they can have 10 of these managers if they want. They can create 6 more if they want. But when you're talking about a young independent artist, for example, coming out of Jamaica, who doesn't understand the business, and you have a person who understands all these roles of a manager, that's a starting point for you as an artist.
Yes.
Instead of getting a brethren on the corner who know nothing about the role of a manager, now he's becoming your manager because he have a contact down in Ocho-Rios. To get you on some little, to get you on some sleazy little show, So we're talking about the future here. We're talking about the success of an artist and everybody involved. And this show came about based on the lack of knowledge of, quote unquote, our Jamaican artists. So we're trying to open up everybody's consciousness about, this whole role, because artists are getting killed. There are people out there who call themselves managers who are killing artists' career.
Damaging them career.
Mama D call them damagers.
It happened outside of reggae too, because when you hear what Prince saying, when you hear what a bunch of artists from Aretha Franklin them they are saying, and it happening right now, it's getting ready to happen tomorrow morning, where somebody claim that them have contacts, them claim them as a manager, them see somebody with a talent, them find that the person who them soliciting doesn't have any knowledge about the business, and they're getting ready to rip off that artist. And it's part of the reason why California made a law of it, is that they put a basically limit on what managers can assume. And I think what they need to do, they need to tweak the law a bit more, so that anytime artists going to sign anything like relinquish copyright, that it has to go to a third party that is independent outside of the manager or lawyer. That outline what these things are, because again, I was to stop a manager who has no experience, and this manager, where the contract was written up, was getting ready to have the artist assign all his publishing right and everything to this snowboard company who just put up $200. So
Wow.
it was just stupid. Got the manager himself don't know.
Lady G.
Yeah, and this was not a reggae artist either.
Right.
This was a hip hop artist.
Let me come to Lady G, because I know Lady G wants to make a point.
In advocating for the layperson or the upcoming emerging artist, or just the artist who is totally clueless at the moment about how to do any of this stuff and navigate the music business, it just seems as though, number one, it's a really expensive thing to do, to find the proper manager, or hire different managers for different roles, right? And earlier in the chat room, Mama D put a comment. She said the manager should know everything about you, your personality, likes, dislikes, and secrets. To me, that sounds like a personal manager. And I guess my thing, I guess what I'm trying to say is, how does an artist, I can see why some of these artists just go ahead and just sign a contract and get work for hire and get the money up front, because it just seems like it's really difficult to navigate, especially this area.
That's why what scientists said. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, finish your point, the do's, and then I'm going to say what I'm going to say.
What I was going to say was, in ending, is that it may have already been addressed, but that was my
Go ahead, Duza.
No, I was just going to say that, we usually have a conversation sometime throughout the weeks, to the next show, and scientists had brought up the point, I think this week, that we really should come up with a toolkit, and that toolkit could basically be even a sheet of paper that says a manager should not get more than this. You know what I'm saying? It could be literally like a downloadable PDF type thing, where it just says, a publisher shouldn't get more than this. This is how you get your rights. And I think that's where we can really do our most value of what we're doing, is if we came up with something like that and people could just click on that and say, oh man, I didn't know that a publisher is only supposed to get, or this, you know what I'm saying?
Well, yes, that would be good. I don't know, Chris, do you get that split sheet?
Yeah, I did. I saw it.
Yeah.
I managed to eventually download it.
Yeah, but outside of that, a manager is supposed to only get paid when a transaction takes place. So it's not like you have a manager and then you're paying him a weekly salary. A manager may come to you and say, yeah, give me $100 a week. It doesn't work like that. Now, in order for you to attract a manager, the manager have to see talent, the manager have to see money, and then that manager wants to sign you. And everything that the manager is doing is on consignment. And so whenever you see somebody picks up somebody and start to manage them, it's usually because they see a dollar sign, because it's all based on consignment.
Very true.
They don't get paid up front. They get paid it's 15 to 20, in some cases 25% tops of anything that they negotiate.
So, is there anything else we need to address on this particular fact of or the role of a manager? Because I don't want to spend too long on it. 5 minutes tops.
Just a little bit further, General. If we talk about, say, an emerging artist that gets recognised, if I put it in terms of important roles, booking agents are really, really important to be able to get them work. And nowadays, if they're going to work across different continents, they need those people in those continents for them. And the same way I would suggest, and I think Fitzroy would agree with this to a point, that if you're not earning that great amount of money that you can bring a big entourage, or people are willing to pay for a big entourage, is that you probably need a road manager that you can trust in different continents as well, if you do get the opportunity to get the work there.
And I
Does
think
that make sense?
that's a very
Yes,
important point.
because you find you could be a road manager that you know the East Coast and the West Coast to the back of your hand, like the back of your hand. Now you take that same road manager and drop him somewhere in Europe, he won't know where to navigate to. So you're better off getting somebody who knows Europe
Absolutely.
to be the road manager.
Mm-hmm.
No, you could have your road manager, regular road manager, kind of oversee that other road manager because he's familiar with the crew and knows what's going on. But you're better off relying on somebody or getting somebody who knows how to navigate through UK.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so now that we're on the subject, we're going to close this last one, and then we have three more for other shows. As we're talking about the role of a road manager, the road manager normally takes care of logistics while the artist is on tour or on the road. Duties include making sure that everything on the road is provided for as spelled out in the contract, and all monies are paid on time. The artist can
And
then
get an artist to and from the gig.
Yeah, the artist can then concentrate solely on performing and interacting with fans and not be distracted and preoccupied with whether the promoter, the venue booker, the booking agent, the sponsor, or brand partner has met their obligations. The road manager also follows up on items promised as part of the contract, such as accommodations, paradigms, advance, deposits, rentals, commissions, and so on. So that is basically the role of the road manager. Right. We have the tour manager, we have the production manager, and we have the technical manager, which we will discuss on further shows.
Okay, so we haven't got Fitzroy to discuss the road manager aspect, so we'll wait to another show in about 2 weeks to address that. I want us to move on from this subject now because we have a guest and we're going to try and fit this all into 2 hours. So we've got another hour to go before the end of this show. At the end of the show, I'm going to get Lady General to tell us one more time about the issue with Paul Michael Campbell. Has that got deleted? The initial start of the show got deleted. So towards the end, Lady General's going to give us that rundown one more time, the recap. And then before we end the show, we're going to have 1 or 2 questions. I'm only going to be able to take 1 or 2 questions. Monarchial has a question from Barbados, and we'll be posing that question towards the end of the show. What I want to do right now is just do this.
The Reggae Business Talk Show is a show about knowledge, a show about information, a show where we arm you, the artist, with the tools needed to navigate your way through the music business, the business of music. Sit back and relax and listen. This is the Reggae Business Talk Show.
Okay, so what I want to do right now is come to Dooza. Dooza, Dobby-Doo.
Yes, sir.
You have a guest for us today, and tell us about this guest and why you've chosen to have him on this show today.
The Junior Walker, he's a legend, and some people might not know he had a lot to do with Keith Hudson in getting famous in his music and a lot of that early dub sound in the mid-70s. A lot of people don't know about that Keith Hudson had Junior Walker behind him, really helping out. And, scientists knows him from the old school. He knows a lot about the King Tubbies, but he will know a lot about the legal things as far as he has a situation where he owns rights to some of Keith Hudson stuff and his family's trying to claim differently. And, he's very valuable to this show. I just think he'll be a lot like a Earl Zero was before,
Okay. Well, we're going to try and make a link with Keith Hudson right now. So once again,
with Junior Walker.
Sorry,
No,
Junior
Keith
Walker. Sorry, Junior Walker. Oh my God!
That would be
Pardon me. My apologies. Oh Lord. Oh God. Listen, we have Junior Walker in the building. Junior, are you there?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, my brother?
Not as good as you. I don't know. What are you using at the studio? You're a pure coffee.
I think we can communicate with dead people.
It sounds like it's better than what I use anyway.
Anyway,
bless up, Junior.
I got to bless up Junior Walker.
Good.
Today, let me just say to Junior, you're most welcome on our show, and it's a blessing to have you on this show. And I must introduce you to our panel. We have the scientists, we have Roddy Campbell, we have Lady General, we have Dobidu, as you well know, and we have Chris Hills, as well as Lady General, and myself, General Culture. So you're welcome.
You leave out one person.
Oh God, scientists?
No, man,
Keith Hudson.
Oh Lord. So rest in peace.
It's funny because there's once a time in Jamaica when you usually always say Keith and Junior. Like it's like the two names used to go together. There was a time when that's all, a certain area. Keith and Junior. Yeah, Keith and Junior just gone up the road, it's always Keith and Junior.
Well, my spirit must have picked that up because you can't see one without the other.
Yeah, I'm spiritually there with me still, Because you see, a lot of, like even right now, kids are try a little politics. But Keith, when me arrive in New York, Keith used to call me Pa. A lot of people think it was a nickname, but that was a little slang we have from down at the ghetto where, you call your bigger support, Pa,
Yeah.
That mean like your father. Keith 8 years older than me, but he used to call me Pa. So you see, sometimes people get it misconstrued,
right?
Because I am the disciplinarian in the bunch,
right?
Yeah. When you're not acting right, I will leave, and when I leave, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those kind of things now. Sometimes when I do leave, people in a Jamaican way tend to think that means you don't have no connection to the thing no more.
Yeah.
No, it don't work like that. If I write songs and after that I leave, the songs I write is still I write them.
Well, I tell you
try
what.
to exploit that.
Let me just get you to tell us who you are and tell us a bit about yourself and tell us your story, your tribulation, if there's any.
Yeah, well, generally I just finished a book. Well, not just finished. It's been in the marketplace for a little while now. Named Junior Reggae: The Journey from King Street. So basically that covers the landscape with when I was born down on King Street. And it just so happens that the infant school that I went to was the infant school where Sir Coxsone and Duke Reid used to battle on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So those days Jamaica music wasn't anything we had got to know.
Right.
I remember when I used to play up on the street while the music I play, I would have listened to songs like Spit in the Sky, It Will Fall in Your Eye by Delroy Wilson.
Okay.
That was as far back as then. We're talking about 50s as an infant, So that beginning kind of just always had me in a music vein. I then grew up around an uncle-in-law who was married to my aunt, who actually worked in the Carib Theatre, which is like the main theatre in the West Indies back in those days. We would have some of the biggest foreign artists coming in. We had Stevie Wonder, Dionne Warwick, Solomon Burke, Chuck Jackson, Percy Sledge, you know what I mean? So we kind of exposed from that time to what music was really about. Not knowing that I was being geared for a bigger work, But that was how the youth and infancy was. Right. Now, eventually, I went to Camperdown High School, and after 4 months out of high school, I landed a job with Barclays Bank in Harbour Street. At that point, I was 18 years old. So at the time, I delved deeper into my love for music in the sense of collecting now. Started a little sound system within the bank where I would play at bank parties and all that. So this connection with the ghetto and that area in downtown served me well in regards to supplying me with new music. I was a fixture inside of Randy's when it comes payday. There would be, as a matter of fact, as I keep telling people, it's like a real shame that, those days as a youth, I would spend most of my pay with VP, who is VP today. And to think after all these years, them find it in them power to actually cheat me now as a grown grandfather, you know what I mean? At them teenage days, when me I leave VP record shop, me have 245 box full of record under my arm. Some used to buy a record. Me know everybody on first name basis. Me Spot, Clive, Danny, EMA, CB, you know, the whole history of them. Me I buy from all of them. So it's just, as I say, kind of ironic that in the end, I never know the cat named Chris. Because I feel like him is the kind of poison to the chalice, you know? Yeah, since his arrival, things kind of get in a different way. Because Miss Spot is...
the last...
Huh?
Go ahead,
I said
Junior.
Miss Spot is somebody where I would have... If I should have met Miss Spot now, normally it's a hug, you know? Over the years, because that's how we know my spot. We start on a parade. That means when I come see you in New York, I'm glad to see you still well, and you know what I mean. That is the idea. But it just so, as I said, leave a bad taste in my mouth. Say money, because like myself, I could have never find anything make me want to rob my spot or any one of them. You know? Mr. Vincent, who is the V in the P. When them closed them place in a Jamaica Avenue in the evening time when their store closed, me and Keith Hudson would be further up Jamaica Avenue. They were at 170 Jamaica Avenue. We were at 17611. So you can know the close proximity. And Mr. Vincent would drop by us and catch the chalice. You know, those things we wouldn't talk that back in the days because that reflect bad on him. But that man a dry him chalice. You understand? Somebody come hang with you a little bit. And you know we are there and he's in peace and love. And Clive, by getting with his children's mother, Joel, that died. Joel's mother is actually a close friend of mine's brother or sister that Clive was married to. That was Joel's mother. So the whole thing kind of family ties deep, you know. Nafagan is a man of the era that where I grew up, Central Kingston. So Nafagan, who is her father, who is Clive, we'll call it father-in-law at the time, Joel's grandfather. These are people who we all, you know, interact over the years. And Mr. Vincent is a man who used to draw him chalice, as I said. So, you know, Nafagan, who is the father, you know, every man knows Nafagan of the body served. So, you know, so these are...
Yeah, but once you call a certain name like CB, within the VP Randy's Mr. Vincent circle. If anybody don't know VP and them people here, CB and them people, that mean you don't know Randy's. You never really been here.
Because you see, those are the people that never come out of Jamaica. Those are the people that stayed.
Right. Those are the people that are always in the hidden shadows doing all kind of things.
Yeah.
Continue, Junior.
Me and Dobby were talking earlier now. You know, funny, I was mentioning it that there was a time in Jamaica where people like myself were living at Kingston. We used to wake up in the morning and find, say, a dozen Chinese people just come up from sea. Right? These people were like refugees what we're seeing today. You understand? China was not a wealth back then. You understand? These people used to just travel out on boat and take them chances. That mean them wash up at Jamaica, them try them thing in Jamaica. See? So we all welcoming Jamaicans as we are till today. We always accept them to the point where we even have a black man that will join with them and we even fight the next black man on behalf of them. You know, so when you mention certain people now, those are the people that stick with those people over the years and show them the ropes and keep them covered. Because Gregory was one of the few people that these Randy's people were kind of close to. Because they weren't allowed to sell Bob Marley's material. And Bob Marley was further up at Beeson Street, which is 1 block away from Randy's. But Bob Marley,
but all of them stores there were just like a store throw apart because Gregory was right round the corner from Randy's.
From Randy's. But that's what I'm saying. That's why I think what they did was in order diplomatically, in order to cover themselves with the ghetto youth, they were very nice to Gregory. You know what I mean? Gregory gets
they have to be
from them.
And that's what I was saying about Don Carlos had said about that around Gregory Isaacs. A lot of people kind of are around him because he bring in money, so that's why he kind of controlled that little area.
Randy's
Big Youth used to be down there. What's his name? Used to have a stop. What name there?
Techniques.
Techniques. They used to have a shop right beside Gregory, and everybody was right at that 1 block right there.
Gregory Shop, you know. You remember Maya? Maya, who used to manage Dennis Brown for a bit. Well, Maya's mother had a restaurant, which is actually Gregory Shop. And when she's done the restaurant now, Gregory moved in the African Museum.
African Museum, yeah.
Miss Maggie is there, so we used to eat with food as artists and thing. Keith Hudson used to have a style where him don't bother buy from Miss Maggie in a fair plate. He used to send me with a butter pan. That means I'm always getting more than I'm supposed to. Miss Maggie funny, she did have a restaurant up by Queens Boulevard in the last part, but from leave up them place, I don't even know. I hope it's all blessings.
Yeah, what Junior talking about there, him talking about deep down, way down in reggae.
I right. Maggie breast, man.
Yeah, if entire start, anybody don't know Miss Maggie and them people there that then they tell you say them don't know nothing, them just come in.
No, some guy in a scientist. You have some guy now, you're the game going now. Them talk to a Jamaican youth, right? And them drop in the country for a week or two. And while running around with him, whatever little information him give them is what them come back and write in a big journal.
Yeah, that's what Dennis Al Capone was just saying again.
And you know, my Dominic and them, I mean, love them for that. Because if a man come and him go and like, him want to buy news, me will sell you some news. Because if you know it or not. So me have to appreciate how them hustle and eat a food.
So Junior, share with us what actually happened to you. What went wrong with Junior Walker?
With me now is a situation where it's basically, one, I was under the impression that Rastaman, all dreadlocks look like Bob Marley or Rastaman. And them heart clean and them deal with upfulness and, So first mistake, right? Not all dreadlocks are really the works. So that was step one. Step two now is that I was never a material-minded person. So within money and these things now, anything I can do financially, I always just do it, And that turns out to be one of the reasons why I was hooked up with Keith Hudson.
Okay.
Keith Hudson turned out to be...
If I can just interject a little bit, Junior was the guy who worked inside the bank as a bank clerk, and Junior used to be up there with the kid with the money. I have the bank connection, and him believe in the business so much, and him love the business so much that him used to use him paycheck to finance Keith Hudson, and on top of financing Keith Hudson, him had a roles and very important role to do with the musical compositions.
Okay. So go ahead, Junior.
Yeah, so initially, having my little sound system, as I tell you, because the reason why I was where I was, which was at Beeson Street, was first because of a tailor, and I found out that this tailor was upstairs from Bob Marley record shop. So this now, me as a little man, I build a little sound and thing now, back in the era when I born, was like, real enlightening for me, because people like Gussie and all them, man, me had a little knowledge of Gussie, because him just come out of KC, when me I come out of Camperdown, and me used to buy records from Gussie. So me actually know Gussie before Keith Hudson. And when we start to function with Keith Hudson, Gussie was one of the first man to call me one day and say, hey, me know you love the business and thing, but not for them big money where you spend your money with. I use, you go get used, you know what I mean? Straight like that. And that was like a shocker to me, because me under the Rasta vibes now and thing. So how could that be? So me head back straight to Keith Hudson now. So you see, that's a part of where people don't understand with me and Keith Hudson. See, there is no fear there, because my neighborhood is where I was born, and that is where Keith Hudson was like seeking refuge. See, because Keith Hudson had some problems in where he was living and had to leave there in a distressful way. So he was staying down at Beeson Street now, in an office, come home, because he was one of the few people who actually live on the premises. And the rest of people is an office. Bob Marley shop is a shop. When shop time done, you lock up and you're gone. Right? He thought live there along with man like Bill Hutchinson. You remember Bill Hutchinson scientist?
Yeah.
Yeah, man like them they live and lie young, few man they live on the premises. So within that now, me coming and going day to day now, we are interact, and this brethren named Jamani, he was close to me as well as he was close to Keith Hudson. So him knowing what was going on with Keith, because what was really going on was his wife was filing for him green card, and it was taking much longer than I thought. So him run out of cash. So basically now Manny find me as the perfect man with the perfect heart to carry this later. And at the same time, me can get music, you know. So to me, that's a kind of trade-off. All right, me go and steer him, and you know, every new music will make me go first get it, my sound. So that was the first plan, because we wasn't under a financial situation. Them time I never have a clue what is music business. Like you sell record and you make X. Number one, if me no hear something I said hot on the radio, I figure say you don't make no money. Whenever I know people that make deal abroad where things release abroad. As a matter of fact, whenever I think music release abroad, I think everything I hear abroad I export it come from. You see, so me kind of naive at that point, and Keith never too keen for make me no brighter, you know. So with that, you know, the music, them, me that keep making music with him. Things like In the Rain, make a thing, Michael Jackson song where I Wanna Be Where You Are, really about that. We do a song named Dreadlocks That, and then in a Soldering, which come out to be the song from Picador named Dreader Dan. And, you know, every time I get an idea, you know, I back it financially. But then, turns out that nothing now come back in return, because Keith Hudson wasn't like somebody who would tear up the radio station. So, me suggest to him at this point now, said, so why not make a double LP? Because playing in the dance hall, me realize the Coxsone come with high fashion dub, Ital dub, and some other dubs were put together by Treasure Isle and him named Jack Ruby, come with the Garvey Go. So dub it kind of make the move. You know that being me a play for party. So me say, why not make a dub album? But then him being the smart person him was, decide that him don't have enough strong tracks to make a double album, unless me could have record the tracks. But he's negotiating me recording some tracks. You know, me agree. Yeah, man. Him say, if you can, I say, so why we can't? Him say, well, if you can afford it, I'm say, let me try if you afford it, you know. Did scrounge and set back things like my rent and all them things there until, you know, pick it up completed. But then it turns out that the album, when it came to wax, I was not really interested in going any further, because that's what I really wanted for my dance floor. You know, again, I am not seeing it from a financial money-making point of view. That was key to area, you know what I mean? And me work, you know, me have a job, so me not really try to cut in from your thing. But then, in fairness, knowing what I know today about business, if I bring do that for me, there's no way under the sun me not reward him in perfect measure, especially under the circumstances.
Yeah, but Junior, get to the part where the creative input and what causing the dispute and why you think he entitled.
Oh, well, after leaving the bank now, you'd have to skip to that. After leaving the bank now, the money that was made by Picador, I wasn't aware, because I wasn't aware that Picador was released abroad. So the income that was coming now, I have now just started to try my hand at songwriting. Keith was making an album called Reggae King Saul. And me come into the mix now, and the name of the album changed to Rasta Communication. Right? And based upon that, I had to test my hand now in writing. Because then me have a certificate in O level in the English language. So composition was one of my favorite part of English language. Because I make up anything in composition, you know. So I jump start write songs. And one of the first songs I write was Rasta Country. And after that, Keith used to have this part of the building of Keith that state never have no electricity, except we have a little bandola thing where we run some, you know. And we never have no electricity. So every time Keith go over the side of the building, he always have a thing where maybe if I help him go in the darkness, and he just say, darkness, darkness, you know what I mean? And I hear this over and over, and we just decide to build a song around it. So we say, darkness, I and I won't compromise. I and I only love Rasta side in this darkness, you know? We build more.
So did you register? So you didn't know that side of the business?
No.
And you wrote those songs 100%?
Yeah, man. Like what you know, it's a Rasta country. Keith Hudson in a Rasta country is I and I have a country. And we know the meaning of freedom, which you call ad-lib. The only input Keith Hudson have in a Rasta country. That means
so who's registered as the writer on that song?
Eventually, when me get here and learn the ropes, me register them. But after the whole VP get together now, VP claim that them have a deal with like the owners of the copyright. So by them having the deal now, them own it now, 100%.
Can you make a point here? When you're talking about Rasta communication, I have the double disc, and VP claims that it's Jammies who mix it. You know, no disrespect, but it's not even Jammies who mix it. You know, this is what I'm talking about with VP and Green Sleeves. Just another
some of them
point.
tracks there, if I not Tubby's at the Virginia Sylvan Mars, see?
And it's
So-
Jammies.
No, but I can tell it's Tubby's was mixing the Keith Hudson thing them back in them time.
Yeah, but Rasta communication, 1 and 2 of the mix them true to the level of song what Keith approach, right? Things where, you know, you want a certain classic sounding kind of rare. It never really dub mix. You dig what I say? So I'm kind of mix
And
them.
probably go to Morris, Harry J.
Yeah, Harry J.
So let me just ask you a quick question.
Some you get to know them, you know. Sylvan Morris mixed for me in after Keith dead because me know him through the days of when him used to mix with Keith. Right, give me 1 minute there. Yeah, my brother, I can just go move this part.
Yeah,
So,
but if you notice, is the same story. Keep throwing around assignment or copyright, and as what 7 point out, is never the people them who create the song that are create the work that end up with a copyright.
Now,
is always a corporation who has nothing to do with the creation.
now, how soon or how long after did Junior decide to copyright? How many years after?
Well, copyright in Jamaica is automatic to the person who create the work or who write the work. That's automatic. The only time you lose ownership of it is when you have something that's signed. But in Junior case, Junior go on. So what happened now? VP is claiming that they're owning copyright.
I'm going to give you a better part right now. Originally, Keith's intention was to have me writing in the background and him taking the credit. Now, my tailor,
credit as what? Credit as what?
Credit has been him as the writer. That made me keep writing and me just staying in the background. What would happen is him share everything with me, right? As long as me stay with him, everything will be shared with me. Like if me there at Jamaica Avenue, me not pay rent. You understand? Me not pay for nothing. You follow me I say? That is the attitude of the payoff or the reward. You dig? But if me not there at Jamaica Avenue, all of my reward done. You follow? so you see, we know music business to the level that copyright don't really work like that. That's a little Jamaican way. And even the fact now, after Rasta communication, Keith's way of rewarding me for Rasta communication, what me never get credited with, is by allowing me to say me as the executive producer for one extreme to another, which was the last album we did together that the dub album Skin Up Dub come from. You see?
Yeah, but all of that don't really. Here's what. All of that kind of don't make any difference now. Why? Because whatever agreement you had with Keith Hudson died. You can't have a contract with a dead person. So whatever verbal agreement that died. The issue is now somebody is claiming that Keith Hudson signed over copyright to them or assigned copyright to them.
Right. Well, the claim is not that Keith Hudson assigned it to them, but the person them feel is in the authority to do that, which them choose as him son. Now, this son that them first start out with, where them went really off the meter, was a son that was what you call a bastard son, right?
Outside son.
His mother and Keith had broken up.
But the relevance of it, somehow this bastard son think that he's the heir of the throne, right, and then he
think that is not the same. You see, the problem is this now. The sons who would actually be the sons to go into this deal with VP is the sons of the estate, which is the sons of Keith Hudson and Mrs. Hudson, right? That is what it was. It wasn't.
Okay, but legal. Well, let me look at it from a legal point.
That's the legal
were
point.
they? No. Hold on. Were they married?
Keith Hudson and Mrs. Jean Hudson were married. That's what I'm saying to you.
Okay, fine. So here, wait. That's what I'm trying to establish. So we established that they were married. So the son that you talking about, quote unquote bastard son, is not a son of the wife. Is what you're saying?
Oh yeah.
So that mean he doesn't have any power to assign anything or do anything with anybody else. Now, question.
Before you go so far, 1 minute. Before you go so far, check this out now. Keith Hudson, as the main man in the whole affair, had a company, a label named Giant International, which was run jointly by two people. This is registered New York registration something, right? This is not a word amount now, right? So this is how I came to the US. I am the overseas representative of this company that was registered in New York named Giant International, right? This is the invitation letter that the embassy read that allow me to come in and join Keith Hudson to run our company. You get it? So the record and the materials are actually owned by this joint company. If you
technically there's a technicality in that, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, the technicality is people don't run music business. A company run music business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But when you're dealing with copyright,
exactly
based on what law is.
Copyright, when you're dealing with copyright now, the same Giant International had a publishing name Imbi Music, right? While I was in Giant, I was under Imbi Music Publishing, which is the publishing set up by Keith Hudson in name.
Yes, but so, all of that still is outside of the scope of
people can't come and move things from publishing company.
No. I hear that. But to fix your problem.
Yeah.
No, to fix your problem, because if I was the lawyer on the other side, okay, let's stick on this. To fix your problem, right? Here's what it boils down to. You already established to us how some of the songs them got written. So is whoever write the song, right, controls the copyright. That's what the law is. That's not my rule. Like you said, you write out the song and you wrote the words for it, and you give it to Keith Hudson to sing. Then if you never sign any document waiving that right to Keith Hudson or anybody, then you are in control. What Keith Hudson smartly did was have you keep writing songs and have you in the background.
Exactly. That's
right. So you can keep paying his rent. And that's what Gussie Clark pointed out. Hey, I'm down here with them guys here and them thing there that everybody's with his locks, his rasta, some of them is Lucifer, and you're going to get used.
Right.
So you was getting used as the guy that from the bank with the money, and I know how that whole scheme down there run with all of them Luciferians, and they was doing that. So to stick to the point and don't, you know.
Rasta today, Scientists. Them never know I'm going to be the Rasta today. You see, some
yeah, but here's what. The other side, I'm telling you, don't give other people things that they can use against you later, because a lot of people listen to the show, right? And the other side is more likely to be listening. So here's what you need to stick on, right? You wrote a song, all right? You need to establish how you wrote the song.
Let me help you now with that, all right? You see, when I come to the UK now, and I start attend my PRS, AGM, and BPI, join up the BPI and join up the PPL, and everybody now, and people start hitting me with information left, right, and center. Me come to understand that Keith Hudson himself never properly registered him songs then. Right?
In what way?
In the legal sense of PRS and MCPS. You understand?
So what he put on the paper, as a writer.
Some of them were incomplete. That's what I'm saying. Some of them were not even registered. Put it that way. You follow me? So me, being who me is, knowing what me know, was in the position to actually register Keith stuff for him, even ones where I don't have a thing to do with. You follow? So that respect is there with the PRS that then made me a thing what them call ICE, which is like them have an ICE setup where you, a person who know about the person material, you don't have to collect or nothing, but you are the one them rely on to tell whether this is true or false. You think?
Right.
So that was what I was doing for Keith Hudson label before this whole VP.
So let me see if I understand this. You can establish.
Hold on. You see, after that setup now, the idea is for these children to get these monies that I have secluded for them. Because you have to get the picture right, you know, scientists. These people are
I know. That's a part that I'm getting
hold on,
to.
Scientists, hold on.
Their father has put me in a position to represent him. Remember, that is the original story.
Yes, I understand that. But here's what I'm getting to. Here's what I'm getting to.
Scientists, let him finish. Hold on, Junior.
Yes, Junior. But immediately, I was the only person close to him activities. You get it? So now, when I secure these things for the children now, MCPS position is that they need to get a probate document. Now, a probate document says, all of us 6 children agree that our brother X is going to represent us. So that when PRS or MCPS pays brother X, them know them paying the right person. Right? That's all there is. And just like your friend from Adame, Andre, all monies that Keith Hudson is supposed to get from Adame going to be paid on that same level. So as I'm saying now, these kids are just being dunces. By being dunces,
yes,
prevent themselves from the real money that is due to their father.
Yeah, but here's the part I'm getting at. You already established and show good faith that you register things so they can get the money, and you are not a part of that money, even though you register pay.
Example: one day, Keith Hudson's son, the same one I'm gonna tell you, say mother never married to Keith, called me up. Hey, the boy, you right? I'm gonna come talk about a him right riot. Or him own riot, something to that effect, right? So I mean, say, what that about? And he must say, well, you riot, claim riot, and re. All right, when me check into the facts, Uri do a song named The Keith Hudson Affair, right? This is on the riot rhythm. Now, Uri don't work for Keith Hudson, so him wouldn't know that detail. You follow me? But him would know, say, the riot rhythm. That is how him regard it. Riot him DJ. You understand? So me who know that now, that becomes a non-event. Can me just tell Westbury, it was Westbury and MCPS at kind of disputed, and me just tell them say, yeah, this is the thing. Hudson Affair, Uri one name. The song itself named Riot. You see, but Keith Hudson's son is not able to maneuver because them is not a part of that activity. You follow me? So you just put, it's like you're riding for a fall, like I used to say. Because you keep going into areas where you don't have no expertise.
Well, I'm going through that same thing.
That area. VP are ride with them, you know. VP are give them the stirrup and the saddle for riding in that area. But the whole thing make them look like the biggest dunce in the earth, because VP can't pay them more than them getting a probate document and collecting these thousands. Me I tell you that for a fact. Right? Both the money is
going through the exact same thing. I'm going through the exact same thing with John Dalla Estate. Like John Dalla called me and said, "But scientists, how you claim say you write song?" And she doesn't understand what writing mean.
Because writing can be words and writing can be composition.
See, and she don't understand. But you know, so the legal. I'm just telling you the legal part around it now. That is the story, right? The legal part around it is if you wrote the song.
Yeah, man.
Right?
Hold on.
Right?
That thing I was telling you about now, when I come and find said Keith Hudson things, them never even register fully, right? Because after him died, his wife do a little attempt at, you know, steering certain things. Because when I come over here, I come find, say, my song named Black Africa, it registered under Keith Hudson thing, because she did that while me did it with her for a year, at, you know, help out with things. So she try her hand at registering things. But again, you have to be there. You have to know things, you know. You're not going to know about a song what never come up the radar.
did she know that she know what's up? Is she opposing you as
No,
the
she
person who wrote?
died. She died. That's the opening coming up.
Okay.
You see, the day she
Okay.
died,
Okay.
all kind of new people start to run the thing. 'Cause my thing was, as a part of the
Well,
business.
she died. She died. But here's who is in control now. They know the kids. Are the kids opposing you?
Well, you done hear what me I tell you already. I mean, VP and them make a little connect. I see this guy, you know, the guy what is the outside son, you know, him will anything for Keith Hudson, him will go exploit. Him only want to hear Keith Hudson name called somewhere. You understand? And then in the end now, him turn out to be the guy that sell the whole barn. You see it? Because him sell everything right now. Everything, because we're talking about old-fashioned way, we're talking about Riot, we're talking about Big Bad Boy, we're talking about
It's a big
everything. You see,
yeah.
and then now,
Again, but all of that is a story, right? I'm trying to show you how to cure the whole thing and how to go around.
Scientist, well, I know. You see, my thing now, VP can't lure me in a court for me spend the money what me I use and just release Picadub brand new old-time mix vinyl, CD, and download. You see, VP that like to lure me like what them do, Rupia does and them thing there. You can't lure me in a court with you or butter with the money what me if you use and drown you with music, right? Me I go use it now and me and you in a court. Cause as me tell people here, VP have an in-house lawyer. When I call a lawyer, him charge me £200 an hour. You see it? So you can't lure me into that court. My court is when the facts reach a point, you know, the boiling over point, you have to pay me. You follow? So these are the things what I tell you, the things where your listeners them are here, and people who know what is truth and right, they will see. And you see, things work different, you know. And all the while it come out with financial rewards, you know what I mean? VP, as I said, from the kid one named Chris coming out the mix, them is like treacherous. You know, me never know them to be that. These are people I'm used to have respect for in a sense.
Me and Chris go way back.
I don't know.
Right?
I have to put it that way.
Well, I know Chris well. I would agree with you with a lot of things what you're saying, and I know because I was there with part of the works. I see that of course you have standing, but this is what we've been discussing on this program. When my son starts at your son, because the song them from day one never get registered, because why Keith Hudson know about registration, but he wouldn't tell you about it. Right, and because of lack of people who in the business, lack of knowledge in the business.
Alright, watch it. I'm not playing smart, but not being clever. Because you see, if you was clever, you'd have leave the man with the brains to cover your back. But you're playing smart to cut him out of the thing, to make you have the thing. But now it's some other thing.
It go back to the mentality of the artists, to these reggae artists. They believe they own everything, and then believe that them this and is them that them. And a lot of them really don't know what they're doing.
No, but it's just a cold-blooded, selfish, ungrateful routine, you know? Like me say, I tell W earlier, Universal just licensed about a year and a half ago, just licensed Keith Hudson's Torch of Freedom to a company here named Cherry Red, right? These are both white people trading with white people, right? So now, when Universal signed to Cherry Red, whatever money Cherry Red make, they need to pay Universal, right? Keith Hudson kids will pursue me 24/7. Them can't go near that. You understand? Reason? Because the same son who I tell you about sell 100 tracks, and that I guess was included in the 100 tracks. And because it was Sanctuary him sell it to, and Sanctuary sell out to Universal, Universal come back with the pet of the day. You need to show me a probate document. You understand? So that kid can't go near them music there again in his life until. Because that Junior Walker tell them about 7 years ago, you know. Kids, go get a probate document. You understand? But instead of that, you're trying up with VP, you know, for fight Junior Walker. How you fit do that? You see, those things works. You know what I mean? So that is it.
I'm going through the same. I'm going through the same thing where they're trying to get the kids to fight me, but the law is cut and dry. And in my case, it's more simpler, right?
Yeah,
You need to show you need to show unbroken chain of title from creator to producer to record company, and as long as that door exists, right, then the default owner and the first owner is the person who create the work, the person who write the script. In your case, you wrote the script. What you have and what you must try to gather is all the old records that have your name on it as the producer. So even if you say you need to establish, and I think you already done that, the different links, and then the most important thing is you have one kid trying to go against three kid, and when the other three kids to them not getting anything is only one kid, then the other three kids is going to be reluctant in getting a appropriated agreement that says we give this one person, we give this one person.
Well, this one guy, I was taking everything for himself for a couple of years, you know. It's just now that it get difficult now him start trying to mix with the other.
Well, you see, what the other side can argue, what the other lawyer should argue, is that it's a family, right? And then this kid was not a part of the marriage.
No.
And he already established, right, that he went as the outsider and been the only one that's collecting. No, that's illegal. Because the other three six, the other six that is a part of the marriage was not in agreement with the one. Right. So evidently what they did was to find the Judas in the family.
Yeah, and cut out everybody else.
And cut out everybody else. I know that is backfiring because the other six who is a part of the legal marriage was never a part or is not going to be a part of this one kid running away making all the lies.
There's only two that's a part of the legal marriage, but one of the two is so I don't even know what to call it for a national thing, you know. To the one where come from outside, it's one of the dumbest kid me ever see ever born. Put it that way. Reason is this kid's mother hate his mother with a passion. Right now, them vexed with me. Because when Keith Hudson dead, me go help the wife because she just have a baby. And the mother, they will never, the new set of the family, the old-time family, will never forgive me for that. At that time, you know, me should have leave her, make she suffer and whatever. You understand what I say to you? And these are the kind of people. So, you see, they're very poisonous even among them own self. You know what I mean?
Well, Junior, here's what, man. Here's what. We've been doing this show here for a while, and it's the same old, right? Lack of knowledge, and because lack of knowledge, right, no one was registering the song. Now, I hope everybody can learn from June's experience. Don't leave your son to be arguing with the next son about who owns what. So going forward, it's very important that artists and the producers start to leave a paper trail.
So what should have been done in this situation? Because what I was trying to get at initially was at the time when Junior was writing some of the material on that album, Rasta Communication album, which I do have, what should have been done in that respect?
Junior was not educated as to how the business. Junior was just a kid who worked into the bank, who has the money. Keep them, say Junior as the man going to pay him rent. So keep them and them knew about writing and things. So in order to keep Junior hooked on the ketox and drugs, you keep writing song and bringing it to me.
Yeah.
Junior didn't know that when he write the song, he is the one who control the copyright of the song.
Yeah, a lot of used to do that, you know, because even like Dennis Brown, if we have a brethren in the ghetto and Dennis a theme singer and him feels a boy one night him sit down and him get an inspiration and him write a song, he might carry it to Dennis. And when him carry it to Dennis might put it out, and when him put it out on the label, the producer just take it automatically, say Dennis write it, and him just put Dennis' name on there.
Well, Nine was talking about a similar situation.
Dennis is a different kettle of fish. Dennis going to see you as the man who give him that song, and him will make sure say you're well taken care of financially. You see? Now you have another brethren now named Legan. Legan is a brethren amongst the Whalers, that used to be one of Bob man around, you know, Legon paint the store and all these things. And Legon is
no,
Legon right belly full. You know what I mean?
But look at even Georgie. But again, here's what.
Bob is different from that kind of thing. Legon will be taken care of out of whatever royalties derived from Bellefull. You see what I mean? That is the difference. So we never had a problem with writing a song and turning it over to certain man. Because you know, say, you the right man and the song do something, you're going to eat a food. You see, so that
but the legality thing to prevent the mess is a paper trail.
We weren't taught in Jamaica that, yeah, you the man that write the song, whether you have name or not, or you write it. Because we used to think, say,
you the owner.
We used to think, say, if you don't have no name, nobody not going to believe you say you write it. You see, that was the attitude. So you feel like, you know, you write something, you hand it off to the guy who have a name. You know.
Yes, but let me ask you, Junior. I don't. Let me ask you. You have those paper that you written on?
No, not necessarily. Those are like way back Jamaica 75 we are talking about, you know. But
this is where Earl Zero would have come in. Earl Zero can show you every piece of paper from day one.
Yeah, but you're this now. When as I say, when I came over here and find that the things weren't registered properly, I made a complete registration, which was all good and well, even when the other green sleeve was claiming to be running. So I never had a problem with copyright, mechanical or otherwise. The only thing I never did for any of the physical sales of Rasta Communication from it make. You understand? So that time, but when this new VP thing come in now, was when
it's a consistent pattern.
No, them claim to own the material now.
Well, no. What you're saying, here's what. It's a consistent pattern of the people who you just called claiming they own everything. It's just this pattern now is consistent with them, with so much different artists who never communicate. They're claiming that they own everything.
Right. But here, what I'm saying is this, though. These were registered things accepted by PRS MCPS. I'm a member.
And there was no dispute.
Understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So they created this dispute, and they need now to prove to these people their side of the fence, because I've proven to them my side. That's why I keep saying.
Well, here's how you look in these people's eyes, and this is why I was asking what I was asking you earlier. You already showed, hey, I registered these things to Key Tots and that I didn't have anything to do with it, and I am not claiming any ownership. They see that side. Should we call it the PS? We call it
PRS, Performing Rights.
No, not PS. The thing them that PPL recognize when you can give in when you're outside, I can give prudent information.
Yeah, PPL.
Right? They already seen you as that person. Well, then he registered 6 other songs that it wasn't him, and he's not trying to collect on it. So who is more likely telling the truth?
Oh, but up to this week, I receive a Alton Ellis that somebody just assume because, you know, we have a few tune here and there. We had an Alton Ellis named Rhodesha, where is one of the Rasta Communication rhythm Alton sing over upon. The same song I tell you, I'm not satisfied. So these people now send, by seeing this Alton, them send to me to ask, say a claim against it. And them did assume, say, me. And me, I tell them, no, not me. You know, I not really go about my thing like that, you know. You don't really need nobody things, really and truly. And one of the things...
Well, once you establish that within them, then they're going to look at you as the one who is most likely telling the truth. That's why I was asking you earlier.
I think consistent.
Well, let me just say this. Hold on. Bedrin, hold on. And my first thing is this, right? Because this is an ongoing lawsuit, yeah? I think it's very important we do not dig too deep right now.
Exactly.
Yeah? And that's what I want to establish. That's what I want to say to you, Junior. Please be careful of everything you're saying now.
No, the things I'm saying is in the public domain, you know?
All right.
These are all public domain things. Like these are discussions what we have internally with the PRS MCPS. Okay. So by me reiterating, you know, publicly what we have already discussed. Me not scared of no VP thing.
Well, here's what one of the facts are. Within the PRS, and the MCPS and all of them, when I talk to inside people, they say, oh God, again, VP again. Here goes the next one to them. So in those people record, wow, again, here's the next person. So how much are these people lying? Because they're seen they're trying to hold everything.
Scientist, recently, I do a little thing on Facebook. I said, I would like anybody, feel free to send me a Keith Hudson that make reference to Jah, Rastafari, Selassie, or any one of them things before Rasta communication. Until today, nobody can find me anything. A man find a Torch of Freedom song with a slur was say, a ja, 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 with you, and that was all. And me bring the Rasta communication. So I enjoy the jokes what I have with them. Believe it. Because it'll help bring a spotlight on reggae, and it'll help people who really have a good heart to reggae to kind of, be more careful when they deal with some of them. You know what I mean? Because you know where this is
exposing them.
Scientists, you know this is this are paying them sales, scientists. As much as we might think, say, suing them, we might take so that no matter, You see, in the court of public opinion, if people feel, say, he's a Kaiser, don't feel them going to keep lining up with them things come turn over to you, Understand, So I just time that take. You know what I mean? So me now going to tell them to change them ways. Me enjoy using the information when me gather from them and what them I do to promote what me I promote. Like right now, we're waiting on the vinyl for Picadog to hit back the streets, right? And this vinyl going to have such improved audio because nobody that mastered Picadog previously knew what it's supposed to sound like. You get me, scientist? Because he's a technical man.
I do the same exact thing. I take all of my stuff and put them back out.
We in our tubbies, and we know what the sound's supposed to look like. We know what the bass supposed to look like. So when a guy a master it in England and him not have a clue and him cuts so and cuts so and you go out there and hear it and you say, right, it's wicked. Don't say nothing yet. I go and put it now the way that we did put it originally and put it on vinyl and put it out a street again. Right? And make the public enjoy what the real deal was, not the piracy thing. Because a man never even know, say Sata did name Sata. Him called Sata Satya. Because of a broken Orange Street. See, don't have the printer on Orange Street. Broke and a man get mixed up. So these are the things where are going to make people look, it's going to be easy. And I mean, why then me know the right sound? Why then me know the right sound for pick it up and all this time nobody never have the right sound? And that's a good one. We played for a man. We played the test press for a man in our record shop already. And him not stop shake off him head. Right? You've been hearing pick it up since 1974. And now, I'm going to present one to you now that you have to stop and say, yeah, that one sound fatter, I want to sound so, but they come on this, you know what I mean? Because that's how it's supposed to sound. Somebody will know. When we are going to master song on the dynamics, all the high times when I work with high times, when you're going to master song on the dynamics, you have to can be able to tell dynamics mastering man Spider how the sound. So you master the thing to make the right reproduction.
But Roddy Campbell, does this sound like an old familiar story?
Roddy gone.
You can hear me?
Roddy gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can
All right. Yes, continue, scientists. I think Roddy's gone. It's some sort of technical hit.
But can you
hear me?
Yes,
can you hear me?
I can hear you, Roddy. Yes, I can hear you.
It's just another all too familiar story. And, the one thing that I'm sitting here and I'm listening to Junior and I'm like, I need to get a glass of ice water again, because this whole thing, and I keep hearing familiar names keep coming up, the Green Sleeves and the VPs. And it makes me wonder, how companies as big as these who have to follow certain legal procedures can operate this kind of a way.
It's sad.
Why you're asking the question? Because of lawyers assisted criminology.
You know what the worst part is though?
Exactly.
You know what the worst?
Lawyers who don't respect the first part of them name that say law.
And the worst part is I was down in somewhere and I saw an artist and he just made a record in the studio where I was staying and he said, "Oh, I can't wait to take this down to VP." And I tried to explain to him, I said, you're going to take this down to VP, you know how they deal. He said, no, but I'm so excited to take it to him. I said, well, I'm going to inform you. And he still went down there. So it's like there's artists that still don't know about these type of companies because it's not just them.
I'll tell you, this will come from the heart. Third world bass player, we grew together from I was a teenager, right? Richie Daly. And after me, I got through the distress with VP. I noticed a third world sign album with them named Patriot. Right? And I look on it and say, boy, look at that thing, sir. One bridge in them, I help reinforce the, you know, because how far I come from and thing. I mean, nothing personal, you know. And
well, let me interject a little bit.
But funny.
We were talking about managers a while ago. Them probably could sign a deal that their managers and their lawyers look over that is ironclad. That if VP slip, them do have a course to stand on. Or leg to stand on.
Well, I don't know them sleep, but I'm just saying, just like what Dobby said a while ago, while you fight the battle with them, you have your own brethren who help reinforce them. You know?
Well, yeah, but on the other side of the coin, even though I have bad experience with them, and them can be monsters. What it boils down to at the end of the day is whatever contract them get you to sign.
Business is
right. I'm just
business.
giving what's due to Caesar.
Like in a third world case, I know them will be very nice to them. And I assume they are very nice to Bear Salmon too. Because, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
Well, why is there a reason for that? Why?
Yeah, because they're making money.
Because the management team that them probably have that look over the contract, making sure them not signing over copyright, so forth. There's certain guideline that them have to do A, B, and C, and if they don't do A, B, and C, then they're in default breach of the contract.
Well, I hope so.
Right.
But it just
what you find happened back in the days, right? These unscrupulous liars wrote contract in favor of the record company to steal artist copyright that you now sign over copyright to them. And who knows? A lot of these old artists, you'd believe them on point and them on the up and them know what's going on. And who know if them sign a next stupid deal?
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, we're gonna have to bring this show to a close because we have to come to the one question where we can only take one question today. But I'm gonna have to bring this conversation to a close, and I must thank Junior Walker. I'd love to have you back again, Junior.
Yeah, we're trying to hook up because a long time we've been trying to set this up, but I switched my internet provider the other day. So
we hear a lot of frustration in your voice, Junior.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it's kind of doubly painful. You see, these kids that I am up against right now, because these are the kids that providing the ambiguity because are opening for the VPs of the world, right? These kids have all been supported by me, down to the last one of them, right? The last guy who is like the oldest one of the real estate, I know him from him a 3-year-old. Right? Him come home at 4 and him see me with him father paint and whatever. You know? Then him father died at 8 and him see me show up again and start to food shopping with him mother. You know what I mean? So when you see a guy come out in the world now and then he'll join up with some Chinese people and some white people and say you're gonna persecute that man, then it's rough. You know what I mean? I'm just looking at it that way.
Well, one thing, here's what in all fairness, it really make it bad for some white folks. You have some white people trying to do the right thing, and unfortunately a lot of them get caught in a crossfire, and it's why it's important for good white people talk out against bad white people, because I can show a whole bunch of instances where, like again in 7th case, the girl that was on is a white guy helping her to expose other white people. So sometimes we have to be, not paint everybody with a broad brush.
No, the thing is not on the white people I'm talking about. Just the fact that he would actually find people outside of even the culture. You know what I mean? To go against the man who I say him used to come see mother go food shopping.
Well, with the power of the dollar, is an ex-Judas.
Painful.
It is frustrating.
That one the heavy eye, may I show you? Because,
I have a quick question. I have a quick question for you, Junior.
Yeah.
At any point, have you ever sat down with all the children and discuss their father's estate and where you and what role you play from then
It's a
until
huge
now?
estate. It's a huge estate. It's a great question, Rudy.
Yeah. Well, what happened is, I should tell you, in the beginning, we like this kid, as I tell you, he used to contact everybody. He used to contact PRS on a morningly basis. We know PRS only pay quarterly, right? This kid used to call up PRS like today, tomorrow, anytime him broke him call PRS. You see it?
Yeah,
So,
but that not answering the question, though.
well, no, we have got to that. So the point is, somebody he contacted, must in the sanctuary Trojan circles, and they realized that they could con him, right? So they told him they had a contract for all of his father's music, right? Now, this is a brick wall, because who can tell you whether this is true or false now? Junior Walker, only man work with your father. So he called me up on the phone, tell me, so, boy, the money I claim, so them have contract for. And me say, okay, send me the contract. When I get the contract is actually for my song, what I did with Jawush, named This Natty Alright. Right? Hudson, bring it from Jamaica and bring the track and, you know, do a deal. Him tell me when I come New York, say, well, I'm do a deal with your song, but they don't give me no money, you know. And which in them they give him £250, which is no money in reality. But at the time, we are giant workers. It never matter seriously to me, say you collect 250 off my head. You understand? So now, this contract now, me see it and decide, no man, this contract is for one song. And as a matter of fact, I'm glad for no sound of it. Because now I need to get paid for my song. You know? So this was where it all started. So now I ended up getting a lawyer through PRS to represent the estate. Right? And I deal with the lawyer here in the UK and brief him as to what is what and who is who. And I am putting this same son as representing the estate by coaching him in the meantime, telling him, listen, we're dealing with this in one voice, you know what I mean? And trying to, and actually briefing him as to what is what within.
But do you have a signed agreement?
Hold on.
One second, scientist.
No, come on, scientist. You know we don't do that in a Jamaica circles.
So my question,
there was an
again,
agreement after word in a scientist. Hold on. There was an agreement where, because I was going into this lawyer thing now, I made sure that this kid, that this is the part a scientist must like. I made sure that this kid signed a document claiming my involvement in Rasta communication, Picadub, and all of those things to his knowledge. Right? This was within me agreeing that, yeah, him I go represent.
The oldest kid signed it?
Right. You follow me? So he already, what VP is defending with him is something what him already signed off to already. Because him already signed whatever things me do. Because me get him for do that. Because you know what I mean? Them days them well sharp on top of the thing now. You see? So the lawyer,
so far I'm hearing about one child. What about the other kids?
Yeah.
Well,
the
as I said,
estate,
there's one other kid who is in armor of the first one. Because him like how the first one can steal things. So him want to be in that gang, you know? So him rolling with him based upon that. But him is the one that I had already called about 7-8 years ago and say, you need to get a probate document. Because he would be the perfect one to get it.
Doesn't even understand what you mean when you say that?
My brethren, some people's heart is set in such a place that they would prefer to do the evil than to do the good. Believe me. Come tell you about this good years ago, and you never do it. And VP come on in 2000.
Well, the way you have to do it, Junior, you have to get the document and you have to say sign it.
I'm not able to based on his must be family ties thing of a bit.
Well, here's what's going on legally. You can't have a contract with a dead person. So whatever contract you had with Hudson void. Right? So the only establishment that you need.
All we have is what is done. No
contract with a verbal or written. The more anybody have a contract with a person that died, they have to. The contract is died with a person, so you have to go settle the estate.
So my last question.
I really cannot spend too long on this. Really have to round this up in 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
All right.
So my quick question to you, Junior, is who is collecting the royalties now?
they are right now, it might be the ones that are in dispute where I am concerned. I don't think anybody is.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not going to pay out the royalty when there's a dispute.
Right. So
Right.
they
Because
are
the big companies are not going to do it. The big companies are not going to do it.
No, not the big company, the copyright companies.
Yeah, they're not. That's what I call them, the big companies.
Oh, the big companies, all right.
They're not going to do it because they will sit by and watch the mess go on and the fight go on and the bickering go on.
They're able to invest that money till we're ready.
That's right. That's right.
And they're able to play the stock market and everything else. You know?
That's right.
I'm gonna.
you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. You know, this is just where I'm coming from, money wise, and my love or lust for money. It is such a place that this are the perfect situation. I'm the perfect man for what I mean right now with them people. You know,
yeah, all you have to do is just sit back.
Yeah, you know, because this just helps to show the nature of people what we in Jamaica look up to. You know, we have this habit for quick for look up to people and tell you, oh, this one a big that and this one a big that. And you know, man, and I'm iron shirt pressed properly and thing, and you swear say these people are up and up people. But right. To think, me as a little man now, I lose all my job and used to sleep on the street, them find it normal for rob me. You know what I mean? So it's just that. So me glad to portray that, you know.
I wanna thank Junior for coming on the show and telling us, you know, his story of what happened to him, and I hope this serves as a lesson to anybody else out there not to fall into the same trap. You know, to
keep a trail.
Yes, please.
But things different today, though. That's the beauty, you know. Those are back in the days, as you know, scientists. The harder they come is the movie that tell you the state of affairs in Jamaican recording business.
Yeah, that's what I said the first show. I think I said that.
Yeah, you know, that's
sad but true.
So we come a long way.
Well,
like
Junior,
situations now, a guy we understand that. If you write a song, no matter that you is Joe Blow or never gone away yet in your life, and you write that song.
You register
you own it.
Yeah,
register it.
You are the writer, you are the author, and as long as it live, I say it stay. If you and the man agree again, it's still say it stay.
Wow, what a mess.
A mess. Thank you so much, Junior. Thank you so much. We have to end it right there.
Thanks for the work you have put in for the genre, you know.
You're most welcome.
A bit of this every now and then where people kind of don't just count the money, but you know what I mean, put in the inner workings of the mechanisms.
Anything you would like to say before we let you go?
Yeah, well, like my brethren scientists, him bring out a certain thing. I mean, we need to get back in the studio and do some work. And him was a man that for some way it feel like I am in the artist side and him is in the engineer side, and we are grow from the same yard, you know. That's the kind of feeling. Because we come through the channels like him over that side and me with the musician them and the artist them, you know. And we just been going on like Old Man River. We still a roll. You know what I mean? It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. Because even in New York, even in New York, we were by Dan One and we run the little things. Yeah, you know what I mean? And it seems like we always apart, always across. So they hire the most high father might be have a destiny where, you know, we're supposed to
go cross again.
We're supposed to have a fulfillment to take place, and is it? So we are keep our eye peeled and try to do the Father's work. You know?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Bless everyone,
and we'll keep the link. Take care now.
Thank you.
That was Junior Walker. Wow. What a story, and we wish him all the best with that. We're going to try and maybe keep up with some of the artists whom we've invited onto the show, and he has a very compelling story, so maximum respect going out to Junior Walker every single time. And I got to thank Dobidu for suggesting him to come on the show. Maximum respect.
Yeah, man.
Okay, we're going to try and round this up now, and I want to ask, we're coming to a section of the show where we try to ask a particular question from anybody out there who may have any questions. And a couple of days ago, Monarchical Entertainment, Shaoma Makonnen, wanted to pose a question to us. And so he has a question. He's all the way from Barbados, and his question is this. I'm going to ask to anybody out there who cares to answer. And it says, In fact, here is the situation. The artists I work for are involved in shows where they performed. These clips are aired. The question is, do they have a right to the image royalties?
Well, first of all, who is he? What's his role? These are the artists he works for.
Right, and these are the artists he works for, I would believe.
All right. Well, you see, here's what that's telling me. The artist he works for, and do they have any rights to the images? Well, it tell me two things. What's his role, and he doesn't really know what he's doing. Is probably the next person sit down the road doesn't have an experience. Anything you have a right to your photograph. I can't just take your photograph, General, and start printing on mugs or on whatever. Can't do it. I need your written permission to do it.
While we're still on air, Monarchio, give us a little rundown of what role you play. What role you play in this sort of situation, just before we round it up.
Because he could be a guy who wants, these artists stupid. I want there's earnings. Can I line my pockets with their money? So what's his role?
So how would you answer that based upon what I've just read to you? The artists I work for are involved in shows where they are performed. These clips are aired. The question is, do they have a right to the image royalties?
Now it's aired on radio or it's aired on TV?
Good question.
Well, the right to publicity.
YouTube. I suspect YouTube.
Well, the right to publicity. The artists have to always grant the right to publicity to air anything. So if it's airing, all right, that mean somebody have to be collecting, because once it aired, then that is where the ASCAP and the PRS and these people get involved.
So say for instance,
if it's registered, they're going to be collecting the money.
So say for instance, it's YouTube, for instance.
Chris,
what they can do is they can put a claim in to monetize that video for themselves, and then any royalties will be collected on their behalf.
Yeah, so I hope whoever this guy is, he don't go and run off and try and we call it. Because I find a lot of that going on. A bunch of people put up the YouTubes and they're going and they're claiming it and they're having it monetized, and the monetizing going to them and not the artists.
Yes, he said you've just answered the question, Ed, period. Cool. So we've answered his question basically. So yeah.
She's also saying it's aired on TV, radio.
Sorry. Let's come to Chris first, and then we'll come to Roddy Campbell. Chris, go ahead.
Can I say what we do with Ko-fi? We use a platform called Behance, which allows you to load certain things with different licenses. So there's a photograph album on there where it allows use of those images for things like flyers and promotional around events. And anyone that contacts us and says, can we have a picture of Ko-fi, we would direct them to that site so that they can use the images on there that are licensed for their use.
And give us that name again. Give us that name.
The fact that if you use those images on a platform like YouTube, where there is monetization, that you should put the claim in against that song to claim the royalties.
Give us that name again, please.
Behance, Behance.
There you have it. Okay, Roddy Campbell.
No, I was just Monarchical Entertainment was just saying aired on TV, radio, etc. Which brings into play, if it's aired on TV, then the TV station has to understand the licensings of that. If it's aired on radio, they also have to understand the whole legal issue as far as royalties are concerned on that. And when it's aired, are we talking about a live show, which I think is what you was talking
Well,
about?
PRS should really cover all this. PRS.
Yeah,
But there's
but
also
anywhere that
pictures
is
of.
aired,
Mhm.
in anywhere the ear that from what Roddy is saying, they have to turn in a we call it a sheet to the
Yes.
different PRS companies. So
Right.
so if the song is registered to the appropriate person, then the ASCAP, the whoever are going to collect that money and give it to the artist.
If that artist
that's
is registered as a copyright person.
Yes, that's correct. It'll go
Yeah.
to the copyright holders.
Right.
Okay, this is okay. Monarchial said, "Hold on, General. Not happy with scientist remarks. He's not the only one with morals." What do you mean by that?
Well, he didn't say who he was.
Okay,
And we have cases. I wasn't attacking him personally.
It wasn't a
but we
general
have,
attack.
But we have cases. There's many cases where people go out and register stuff. So now that he's on the line, could you ask him what's his role?
Okay, and so we're just waiting for that. So let's continue. Let's continue before the end of the show. I'm giving it another 13 minutes before we round this up. And once again, this wasn't a general remark to Monarchial at all. It was just from a blind point of view.
Right.
So, yes, scientists needs to know what role you actually play with the artists themselves. If you can just let us know that, please. Thank you very much. Right. Yes, so you were saying that PRS would cover the TV aspect and all other entities, right?
Yes, it is part of what lead me to that. The word to even ask that, because once a song registered, right, and the whoever asked the question don't really even have to wonder about because it's being aired. And then the people who is playing it have to turn in what I call that sheet Roddy. They have to turn in a list of all a set list of all the songs that they played.
Yeah. Right.
So
Monarchial is sharing with us he managed those artists at the moment.
well, you see, go back to, and I hope you don't take this as any insult. Right, it go back to what we were saying a while ago. Why I question who is this person, and because a proper manager would know this. If I'm being too blunt, you're just talking true. You see, when you choose a manager would know this, and it's part of what a manager does. So if it's a practicing manager or a young manager, hey, I had also start from somewhere. I didn't know everything in engineering when I just started. So I welcome new managers, and this is what we're here for. Right? So part of being a manager, you should know this. So thank you for declaring yourself that you're a manager. We are here to educate you. Of course, yes. You should, if you don't register it, register the songs in your artist name. Register it with the PRS, register it with the dispo. And where is he based?
In Barbados.
Well, I don't know who is the jurisdiction in Barbados. But for the young manager, this is what you need to do. You need to find whoever the collection agency in Barbados, register the song titles with them. So anywhere it being aired, those people will collect that money and forward it to your artist. What you can do as a manager is keep track of where it's aired. Just in case they pay you one day and you didn't say, well, then it was aired here and we didn't get paid for this.
How do they keep track of it? Run that by us.
Well, he happened to know that it get aired somewhere.
Well,
right?
that's also the work of PRS.
There's a couple different ways, and I don't know offhand right now.
Well, I know for a fact that PRS will deal with that. They're supposed to, because you're paying whatever monies you're supposed to pay to PRS.
Yeah. Yeah, and I hope he's not thinking the first comment wasn't directed to him, but we were just saying about when managers doesn't really know, and none of us don't know anything when we're just getting in. Apparently, this is a young manager. Hey, we welcome young managers, and we're here to educate you. So please don't take this at any offense. We are just here to teach you. So we do have the repeated mistake of what we hear went on with Keith Hudson.
Well, the other thing to also, if you know of that is aired on, TV station A or TV station B or radio station A or B, the thing to do, as long as your artist is registered with a copyright company, you bring that to the attention of the copyright company that the artist is registered to.
PRS deal with that. PRS, that's what they're there for. They're there to...
I'm in Canada, and if I see anything here on TV, I pick up the phone and I call SOCAN. Their job is there to police your work that you can keep an eye on all over the globe.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
So we're going to round this show up. We're going to round it up because I know Scientist has a big show tonight. Not true?
Next one coming up. Did you get that link I sent you?
Yes, we saw a link. Yes.
Yeah. So a next one like that coming up, and I hope anybody don't take my bluntness too hard. I'm just telling you as it is.
I'm just seeing this the actual link of where you're playing tonight. Just trying to check it up. It's not coming up. Yes, and so next week the next airing of this show will be let's see. We're 6 today, so it's going to be on the 20th of September. That's when the next airing of the show will be. And normally what happens is a week before the show is aired, we have a meeting of what we're going to talk about and so on and so forth. So, within the next week or so, we'll be posting that on Facebook, and we'll be letting you know what we will be discussing on the next show and who will be featuring on the next show as a guest artist. I want to thank each and everyone for any questions that you posed, and I want to bless up Junior Walker. I have to bless up also WD for suggesting Junior Walker. I also have to bless up Ace. Who was that person, Lady G, from Desmond Decker and the Aces? Lord, my memory. Barry Ace. Regular listener to the show, and I know he's due to come on the show because he wants to tell his story and he needs some help. So we're going to invite him on to the show. I want to bless up Monarchial Entertainment for posing the question, and please take no offense to the way we've addressed your situation. It's meant with pure respect, but at the same time, we know there's many people out there who are not doing the right things by themselves, and we're just passionate about giving out that information. Please take no offense to the way we're addressing these situations, and I would never allow or tolerate any form of disrespect on this show, period. So that's where I stand with that. So enough respect to you every single time. I want to thank all our listeners and the Conscious Partners Network. Ruckus Corner Radio was simulcasting this show. Storm Vibes was simulcasting this show. And this is Stockade Radio. Anybody want anything to say? Scientist, say your last few words, please.
I hope nobody don't take my bluntness as disrespect. I just say things the way it is. Welcome all new managers and new people. Whatever you don't know, but we are here to educate you. And if I don't know myself, I will gladly tell you I don't know, because I like to learn.
Okay, thank you so much. Roddy Campbell.
Yes, thank everyone for tuning in. And, we're not going to... everything is left to perception, and we do apologize if any questions been asked and the answer was not in appropriate fashion for the question asker, Monarch. And we, as General says, in no way, shape or form any of us intention is to insult or disrespect anyone. Once again, a great show, and the ship just keeps sailing along. The ship just keeps sailing along. Thank everyone for tuning in.
Okay, Chris.
Nothing much to say. Another good show. We obviously do a review, as people know what you've just said, that we do review what we have put out, and we go back and we re-listen to it, and we try and improve it each time.
Thank you so much, Chris. Dobby-Doo.
Yeah, just thank you for a great show again, man. Bless up all the listeners. It was a great show. Appreciate it again, General, and all the panel too, man. Really appreciate it.
Maximum respect to you, my brother.
Yeah.
Lady G.
Yes, just a quick note that we had a caller on air last week, Paul Michael Campbell, and the topics were about copyright and intellectual royalty distribution, author and composer, and focus on melody. And he contacted us at the end of the show and said that he enjoyed the discussion and that he would gladly come back again to be a guest on the show as a caller. So we'll be having that back to clarify and to finish discussing that topic that we had to cut short because, you know, with the time constraints of the show. So I just wanted to say that, and I just wanted to say thanks for all that tuned in. Thank you to everyone that's in the chat room, and thank you to the panel, and thank you to you, General Culture.
Okay, thank you so much, each and everyone. We're going to get out of here, and I'm going to leave you with a track by Keith Hudson, like how we were talking about his album Rasta Communication with Keith Hudson. I do believe Junior Walker, correct me if I'm wrong, W, but Junior Walker wrote Rasta Country, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to end the show with Rasta Country. So
well,
we're going to...
Whoever registers is going to make some money now.
Okay, guys, maximum respect till
bless up everybody.
soon. Yes,
Respect everyone.
All right.
Respect everyone. Thank you. Great show again.
Yes.
Yeah, bless it Sunday. Enjoy it.
All right, take care, guys.
Good night, everyone.
Okay, guys, maximum respect to each and everyone, and we are gonna get out of here. Once again, another blessed show, and I fully enjoyed this show, and once again, big respect to each and everyone who partook in this show today. So maximum respect to each and everyone. Once again, the Reggae Biz Talk Show back on the, 20th of September.
The information given on this radio program is for informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice.
And I'm going to leave you with this track by Keith Hudson, which was written by Junior Walker. You just heard him on the Reggae Biz Talk Show.
Rasta country, I have believed in. Where there is love, your heart will always be at peace.
Gotta bless up Ali Rhodes, Apache, Daddy Line Chandel, 3223, Lady General, Mama D, Monarchial Entertainment, Mr. Busby, Roddy Campbell, Sharon, and a host of others on the outside. Megan.
There's no place I would rather be. There must be a way Rasta can be free. In a Rasta country, where there is love, your heart will always be at peace. There's nowhere else
station. Stockade Radio, a division of Stockade Promotions. To the universe! A proud member station of the Conscious Partners Network.